Wrapping up the final video here for the air build of Project Red Star. We're going to go over the final benchmarks. I'm going to show you the nice case, the paint, the lighting effects, all of the cool things that I have done so far with this project, and that 2-minute optimization recommendation to get you great gaming performance. I am the Graying Tech, a gaming insider. If you would like to learn how to improve your gaming performance, start now by clicking that subscribe button. Starting off, I want to show you the actual case that I have been doing, and I want to talk just a little bit. You see, this is an air build, and I purposely didn't do things like cable management or even adjust the lights all that much because we're going to put this on water next. It's going to take a little bit of time in order to do that, so the videos will be a little more spread out than they have been in the past. But I promise you it will absolutely be worth it, because then I can show you cable management, LEDs, and how they impact your system and the exact components that I'm putting together for the water build, including a little bit on how to do that. Okay, now let's take a look at those benchmarks. I know you want to see those high numbers just like I did. So we are back here with the CapFrame X tool. Jumping over to the comparison, this right here is Borderlands 3. At the very bottom, you can see XMP 4K. I'm going to compare the other optimizations that we did against this standard. But even if you don't do anything, at least turn on XMP. You paid for it, and in every instance, it will increase your performance. So starting at the bottom, you can see XMP 4K, and this is the 2-minute optimization that I'm going to go through at the tail end of the video. You can see a significant jump in the average frames per second, but we did lose a bit when it comes to the 0.01 percentile. Climbing up higher, you can see every step along the way that I was taking in order to try to squeeze as much power and performance out of this system, including putting in a higher PPT in PBO settings. I also noticed something very interesting with the behavior of Borderlands 3 in that it did not like the 2660 number that a lot of the other games actually would run at. So I had to drop it to 2625. And this is just part of the dialing in that you're going to have to do if you're trying to squeeze as much performance out of a system like this as you can possibly get. Another thing I want to point out, you can see the PBO setting, the RAM OC, but when we really combined all of that together, we actually got not only our best overall average, but an extremely tight grouping here on the 0.01 and the 1 percentile. With Far Cry 5, we see a similar story. The 0.01 percentile increases across the board, even if the average XPS does not increase in a similar fashion. Once you dialed in every single aspect of the system, it responded with a very tight grouping here with almost 118 frames per second. Compare that to the 103 for just the XMP. Right above that, you can see the 2-minute optimization coming in at 113 on average and a very respectable 0.01 percentile on the FPS. Now, Hitman 3 had some interesting characteristics in terms of its performance. You can see the highest 0.01 score was achieved with kind of maximum tuning, spending a lot of time just dialing into all of the numbers. But the maximum frames per second was actually achieved with XMP and overclocking the GPU itself. PBO and RAM overclocking actually had slightly lower average FPS. Our 2-minute optimization sees us going from 125 to 130 on the average, bumping up the 0.1 percentile from 48 to nearly 51. And here you can see my Time Spy Extreme score with a 6900 XT and the 5950X. Now I want to point out this is still on air. We haven't actually achieved the maximum capabilities of what the system is going to be able to deliver because we are still on air. Once we move this over, I fully believe that we will actually be able to climb the charts just a little bit more and get even more performance out of this system. So there you have it. Those are the results. Now, how about that 2-minute optimization? So starting off, you have to go into your BIOS. There's several things we need to change, but Aurora is not it. Go up, resize bar, turn that on, almost free performance. Extreme Tweaker utility is up next. You might see it here at auto. Change that to DOCP. That enables your XMP settings. Because again, you paid for it. Advanced AMD overclocking down here in precision boost. You might have to change it to advanced. That's okay. It's not that hard to do. Once you go to curve optimizer, and I want you to set this at -10 for all core. You might try to pull off -15, but that's going to help you get a little bit more performance out of the CPU itself. Save these changes and then meet me over in Windows. Inside of Windows itself, you need to open up the AMD Radeon software. Now, global tuning profile under performance, turn on manual. I want you to open your GPU tuning, advanced controls. First item on here, set the min frequency to be 100 or so less than the max that AMD told you. You can also see here, I have a slight undervolt. Then down here in the VRAM, turn that on, turn on the advanced controls. Don't forget to increase your memory. I forgot to do it here in this video. Power, max that out all the way to the right, 15. Fan tuning, last item, advanced controls, get the 0 marked in there right, and then I want 100% fan RPM at 85. Apply and you are done.